Today, we are on our way to a place called Poondi in the district of Tiruvallur in Tamil Nadu to visit a museum. This is not a normal museum that you would visit on an every other day. This is a prehistoric museum, and this is the only museum in India that's situated in the prehistoric site. If you don't know what prehistory is, check this out.
Modern humans have been on this planet for around 250,000 years, which is just a tiny fraction of Earth's 4 billion year existence. While 250,000 years might seem short, but it's quite significant. Let's illustrate this with a timeline. Imagine this is our present time. When did Alexander the Great live? Around 300 BCE, right about here. And when were the Egyptian pyramids built? Around 2000 BCE, which would be around 4000 years from the present day. Somewhere here. And the first human written inscriptions, that would be the Sumerian cuneiforms and the Egyptian hieroglyphs, around 3400 BCE, which is around roughly 5000 years from the present day. And that would be around here. Now, on this timeline, we hardly find any difference of all these events that is considered to be the earliest history of modern humans. But look at this vast span our human ancestors lived. We don't have many stories in this time because no written evidences have been found. Technically, history refers to the period for which we have written records. The time before that, without written evidences, is known as prehistory. So, how do we understand what happened during prehistory? This is where science combined with some detective work comes into play. The study of this is called anthropology, and the subset of this is archaeology. By these studies, we come to know what might have happened in this period of time. Now, let's get back on our journey to Poondi.
And here we are at the Poondi Prehistoric Museum, which is situated just half a kilometer from the Poondi Dam, which is straight over there. And this dam serves as a water resource for the city of Chennai. Now that you know what prehistory is, you'd also want to know how old the findings that we found here were. Is it 5,000? 10,000? Well, the findings that were found here were 250,000 years old. And the person who made this discovery was Robert Bruce Foote, who was a geologist. He made these findings in the year 1863, first in a place called Pallavaram in the city of Chennai. And secondly, he came to Attirampakkam, which is a few kilometers away from this place. The first and oldest Paleolithic tool that was found was an handmade axe, and that was found in Pallavaram. And if you don't know what Paleolithic is, check this out.
There are three significant periods in prehistory. They are Paleolithic, Mesolithic, and Neolithic. First, the Paleolithic Age, also known as Old Stone Age, dates back to about 2.5 million years ago and lasted until 10,000 BCE. During this time, humans were primarily hunter gatherers. They used simple stone tools, lived in small groups, and moved frequently in search of food. Then comes the Mesolithic Age, or the Middle Stone Age, spanned from around 10,000 BCE to 8,000 BCE. This period serves as a bridge between the Paleolithic and Neolithic ages. Humans began to develop more sophisticated tools such as microliths. They began experimenting with early form of agriculture and animal domestication. Finally, we have the Neolithic Age or New Stone Age. Began around 8000 BCE and lasted until approximately 3000 BCE. This era witnessed the advent of agriculture leading to development of permanent settlements. Humans started to domesticate plants and animals which transformed their way of life. They built advanced tools and pottery and began constructing megalithic structures. The shift from nomadic lifestyle to settled farming communities laid the foundation for modern civilization. These three periods showcase the incredible evolution of human society, from simple hunter gatherers to settled agriculturalists. Each era brought remarkable advancements that shaped our world today.
And here we have the Paleolithic tools. As you know, these were the first man-made tools, and as you could see here, these have very rough edges, and that's because these were made into these shapes by chiseling against each other. And here we have the microlithic tools, and as you could see here, these have much softer edges as compared to their previous version of Paleolithic tools, and that's because much more crafting work has gone through this and signs of evolution as well. And these tools made scrapping of flesh out of bones much easier. Here we have the Neolithic tools which belong to the Neolithic age, and this age started anywhere between 10,000 years and lasted up to 4,000 years ago. And this is the age where our ancestors, being predominantly hunter gatherers, started practicing agriculture, and these tools are much evolved and advanced versions of tools that we saw previously of either Paleolithic or Mesolithic tools. Now what we have here is called an ammonite, which might seem like a coiled up snake, but it isn't. These are water dwelling species called cephalopods, and these species belong to the Jurassic period, and these would be anywhere between 60 to 140 million years ago. And it is obvious to be have found here because of the water body nearby. This is called a sarcophagus. These are stone coffins. Now these were in practice from ancient Egypt to Rome. Now did you know ancient Egyptians believed that they would go on and live in afterlife, so they would prepare a dead person's body, which process is called mummification, and those mummies would be placed in these type of sarcophaguses. The findings that we saw in the museum were found in Poondi from two major sites. One is in Attirampakkam, the other one is in Gudiyam Caves. And Attirampakkam is around 3 kilometers from this Poondi dam, and thanks to a lot of research that had gone into that site in the past 20 years, the findings date back up to 250,000 years to 350,000 years. The next one is Gudiyam Caves, which now is predominantly seen as a trekking spot for most people, but which has served as a shelter for our early human ancestors. These are some significant findings that tell us that Early humans have been living in these parts of the world for a very long time. We would like to thank researchers and archaeologists who were part of this research. And as you know, prehistory has a lot of unknowns compared to history. That's why we are here to bring this to you. Thank you guys. Until next time, cheers.